Well, hello there! Welcome back to BearManor, home of BearManor Radio. Can you believe we've been on the air for 5 months already? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I is Professor Ludwig van whatchamacallit. Last month, when I was locked out, there were more renovations. Well, we're still adding new shows. Thus, therefore, and furthermore, we've added extra floors. And put in an elevator, even. Well, what is you waiting for? Step right in. Now, let's see. Now, let me see. On this here blueprint of BearManor, it says that the voice actor show is now on the second floor. Number 2. Oh, they should have charged admission to that ride. Whew! Come on, then. Through this door is not the voice actor show with Joe Beth. Oh, I had it upside down. Oh, this is ridiculous. It's now in the basement. Oh, silly Professor whatchamacallit. Oh, yo, to the basement. Oh, my aching sacroiliac. I'm going to have some chiropractical acupuncturistic therapies after this one. Well, come on then. Through this door. Whew! Oh, I was right. Through this door we is gonna have the voice actor show with Joe Bev and his guest Joe Alaskey, Mel Blanc, successor of the voices of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Sylvester, and Tweety Pie, to name a few. He is also Grandpa Pickle on Rugrats. Then we'll hear latest Blast from the Past, the Mel Blanc Show #1, birthday cards from September 3rd, 1946. In the next room... Well, you didn't think I was going back up in that elevator so soon again, did you? Ouch! That's smart! In this room, we is going to hear Laurie's Book Nook with Laurie Kellogg and guest Jill C. Nelson, the co-author of John Holmes, A Life Measured in Inches, new 2nd edition, and A Blast from the Past, The New Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, The Mystery of the Vanishing White Elephant, with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, from 1945. Next to that... we is gonna witness the Joe T.R. Show with Joe Bev. The Shadow meets the Silhouette. First, Orson Welles as the Shadow in Death House Rescue from September 26, 1937. And then Joe Bev as the Silhouette, who meets his reflection from 1986. Now we go to the first floor. I'm starting to like this. So this door... Joe Bev presents 2 lost OTR shows. A Date with Judy #3. Mother Runs Away, not heard since July 8th, 1947, and Cisco Kid #24, Poet of the Prairies. Then later Bulldog Drummond, Terror in the Circus, from January 1st, 1944, and Cisco Kid #24, The Innocent Rustler, also not been heard since it was originally aired in the 40s. In the next room... Fred Fries is going to present more audiobook sampler favorites, most especially a new radio drama called 3712, written by Ben Omart and performed by Fred Freeze. Oh, geez, I can't wait to hear that. Plus Chapter 1 and 2 of the novel Sons of the Father by Janet Anderson, narrated by Mike Dennis. Audio Classic Archive with Terry Solomonson is still in this vault. Oh, so that's where my horse was hiding. Probably previewing Tales of the Texas Rangers #2, The White Elephant with Joel McRae, from July 15th, 1950, and Murder by Experts #10, Dig Your Own Grave, from August 15th, 1949. Over here in the kitchen... Oh, Chef Steve Mendoza will show you what's cooking with his interview with BearManor author Ian Finkel. Goat cheese paninis for National Goat Cheese Month and Panini Month. A tribute to Elvis Presley and Jerry Garcia. An installment of BearManor Audio Theater and more. Now we go to the second floor, which used to be the attic. Oh. I'm gonna have to get one of these things. Only I don't think it will fit in my little one-room bungalow. Through this door... Agnes! I know you ain't nothing but a hound dog, but this is carrying things too far. What's that, Agnes? You was doing your impression of the jumping, rockin' Jazz 78 records Joe Bev is going to spin in this room on the Jazzorama Hour. Next. Ladies and gentlemen. If you look outside on the lawn, you can see the big tent, as Himalaya's Hinchcliffe is the ringmaster for Part 1 of Joe Bev's Cartoon Carnival Goes to the Circus. Now on to our newly added third floor attic. Oh, a person can get tired of this. You see now, we has taken up the entire attic for our new show, the Mid-Atlantic Nostalgia Convention Celebrity Interviews. The premiere hour includes the last interview with Monkey Davy Jones, plus Karen Valentine and Michael Constantine talk about working on Room 222. And there you have it, the 5th BearManor radio lineup. So now, on with the show. Take it away, Joe Bev, Joe Alasky, and the Voice Actor Show.
Yay! It's the Voice Actor Show. The Voice Actor Show.
The Voice Actor Show.
This is Porky Pig, and you're listening to the Voice Actor Show, folks. Pay attention, Doc, 'cause you're listening to the Voice Actor Show with Joe Bevilacqua and guest star Joe Alasky.
Hi, I'm Joe Bev, and this is the Voice Actor Show. And my guest is indeed Joe Alasky. Who is Joe Alasky? Well, he's more than just one person. Listen.
Double the dinosaurs.
Cartoons! Run! double the dog chases.
Aren't guardian angels supposed to protect people?
My first day on the job.
Double the demons.
Gabriel's horns finally mine.
Add it all up and you get our Double the Trouble movie marathon. Back-to-back movies. All week long. Monday starting at 10, 9 Central on Toon Disney.
It's sizzling Saturday sensations with dumb bunnies, flying rhino, and birds. Starting at 8 a.m. on CBS.
Some people are content to travel to the ends of the earth. For others, that's just the beginning. Star Trek, Deep Space Nine.
Can Dr. Katz cut the mustard while cutting the rug, or will his niece's nuptials be his last days of disco?
There's no room for wimps in the wild world of wrestling. Watch Eyewitness News Wednesday. Or else.
The Imposters, a conspicuously inconspicuous comedy.
Friday, CBS and the Discovery Channel take you on an unforgettable journey into the secret world of lions. The Lion's Pride.
Bad Bundy Boys, this week on Married with Children.
House of Frankenstein, the world premiere movie, coming soon to NBC.
The many voices of Joe Alasky, actor, comedian, voice artist, and one of the successors of Mel Blanc in impersonating the voices of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Sylvester, Tweety, and many other characters from the Warner Brothers cartoons, including some original voices of his own, such as Plucky Duck in Tiny Toons Adventures. He also took over the role of Grandpa Lou Pickles from David Doyle on Rugrats. He was the voice of Kurt Connors in the Spider-Man 2 video game and Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man Friend or Foe, among many, many other voices. In the next half hour, we'll talk to Joe as he recalls his early lessons from Friz Freleng himself, the great Warner Brothers cartoon director, practicing every day. As he has told me, their unique sounds and the myriad of nuances in personality. He says he's still working at it today. Thank you, Joe Alasky, for being on the Voice Actor Show.
Well, thank you, Joe Bev, and hello to everyone listening out there. And may I add, just a little informally to start,
What's up, Doc? Ain't I a stinker?
That's great. See, that's you. That's the reason you're here. You know, because you did that with such ease. You know. So now let's start out at the beginning when you're a baby. You know, like what are you thinking about, and how do you become Joe Alasky, the voice guy?
Well, Joe, it started at a very early age. I always had a feeling that I should be an actor. Even when I was a little kid, I would walk around the house imitating everybody who would come around, friends, family. Also, everyone I heard in TV and movies or saw, you know, everyone from Alfred Hitchcock and, Jackie Gleason to the cartoon characters that I had no idea I'd later become.
Wow. Well, I have to say that the diversity that you show in your work, and not just doing classic characters, but doing other characters as well, and things that people may not even realize you're in, is just impressive to me. And I know a lot of people that want to be in voice acting, and they say that you're their inspiration.
Well, it's always nice to hear that you're inspiring other talent, or your audience to do whatever it is they want to do. I have a lot of fans out there I know. Some of my favorite ones I'm even working with. There's a gal in Chicago named K.P. Lynn. I want to give her a little heads up. Lynne. She works with a lot of children's projects. She's also an authoress. I'm going to be narrating a couple of her books coming up. One called Litty Kitter is Kitty Litter spelled backwards, and another one for child diabetics about a character named Larry the Ladybug. So I'm so happy to be able to inspire people to get into the business one way or the other. This is the way it happened for me. I was inspired by the people I heard.
Right now, in fact, because right now it's time for Joe Alasky's bad casting. Okay, these are all the right actors in all the wrong roles. And let's start off with a very talented guy. He used to be very popular back with the old Andy Griffith Show, and then later on with Three's Company. Of course, I'm referring to Don Knotts. I know the resemblance is incredible, but please hold it down. Nevertheless, here he is, Don Knotts, as we've never seen him before. Don Knotts as Abraham Lincoln.
Well, 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth in this here continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Thank you, Don. Our 16th president, Don Knotts. Thank you. But then again, lots of great TV shows have come and gone over the past 30 years. That's why I'm going to talk about every single one of them right now. No, there have been some good ones and some bad ones, and then there was Gilligan's Island. For those of you who haven't seen it, let me just give you a little refresher course. Hey, little buddy. I don't know, I think the skipper spent a little bit too much time on that island when he goes after Gilligan like this. I don't get it, you know. Anyhow, there were some really good shows, too. Shows like Star Trek, right? Let me hear it for Star Trek. Unfortunately, I've got some bad news for you Trekkies out there. I understand they're replacing William Shatner in the pivotal role of Captain Kirk for the next Star Trek feature coming out. Star Trek IV, The Wrath of Madeline Kahn. It's coming out soon. And they've decided to replace Bill with none other than Woody Allen as Captain Kirk.
No, really, space. I don't know what, the final frontier. Okay, these are the voyages of the Starship Door Prize. It's 5-year mission, you know, give or take 15, 20, 25 years, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, I don't know, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Planet Bakersfield.
Thank you. Trekkies, thank you.
More of the great voices of Joe Alasky. And that last piece was an excerpt from his stand-up act from the 1980s. When I interviewed Joe Alasky in 1999 for Animation World magazine, he said, "I do full-body performances with expressions to match, just like Mel Blanc. I'm not just concentrating on my voice, though that's where the performance is concentrated. I try to become a cartoon, body, soul, mind, and voice, not always in that order, and then make my selections for the readings, of which there is usually only one right one."
And how did you get in? How did you get into it?
Well, actually getting into the business was a matter of homework. First, I had a stand-up act in Boston in the late 70s, early 80s, wherein I would often close the show with my seminal impressions of the Looney Tunes. I got scouted around 1981 by someone who worked for Friz Freleng, of all people, and before I knew it, I had a phone call from the great Friz critiquing my work. The gal who was in the audience had taped my voice, and he was offering tips on how to improve this one and that one, and which ones I had solidly, etc. What a thrill. And he also told me, you know, Mel Blanc won't be around forever, so if you come out west, there's work for you. Holy cow, I thought to myself, this is too good to be true. Next thing I know, about 4 years later, who's a guest star on the radio show I'm the comedian on, but Bill Scott and June Foray, Rocky and Bullwinkle themselves. And Bill picked up the ball kind of where Friz left off, and after working with me, I did some impressions of Boris Badenoff and the narrator from the old Rocky shows, and he said, "Those are the best I've ever heard, so if you come out west, I'll put you to work. I'll put you in the unions." So my introduction to voiceover work in Hollywood was kind of by royalty, by invitation from some of the greats. And it wasn't long before I was working at Warner's, and my first job in town was for Bill Scott. My first professional job was as Daffy Duck in 1985. And that's been 28 years, kiddos, and I'm still very happy to be doing what I'm doing.
What a wonderful story. And I have to say, it's so similar to everyone's story, and it seems like there's a generosity in the voice acting community, from Doss Butler being my mentor to Mel Blanc writing critiques of my work in pencil on 9 pages, and he would send me handwritten critiques of my voices. June as well, Bill Scott. These are people who I knew as a teenager, and shaped my life and shaped your life.
Well, I was pretty much thrown right into it after I got my feet wet and word got around, here's a guy who can imitate some of the Looney Tunes. I got work right away for, of all people, Steven Spielberg. Talking again of royalty, he wanted to produce Tiny Toon Adventures and was looking for new voice talent for that. And the concept for the characters, of course, the teenage versions of the famous Looney Tunes, were being sought, and so they wanted something for the character of Mucky Duck, as they were originally calling him, to suggest Daffy Duck without sounding exactly like him. So my genius thought, if you want to call it that, was to do exactly the same voice,
pitch him just a little bit higher, and move the lisp so that it's on the back teeth. This is called a lateral lisp.
And they bought it.
Instead of Daffy's frontal lisp, which, of course, is famously done with the lips and teeth and tongue up front, Plucky, whose name was later changed because they asked me, do you like the name Mucky? I said, no. How about Plucky? They said, oh, that's much better. I said, yeah, you get a double pun there. You get, he's very courageous, plus the fact that, he's a bad luck duck. He's going to get plucked one day, That's how the name of Plucky came around, and boy, was I thrown into it. I had to learn how to sing on that job, let alone, act as well as I could, trying to be, as good as Mel Blanc would have done that character.
With comic dispatchers, we crack up all the censors. On Tiny Toon Adventures, get a dose of comedy. So here's at the acres, it's a whole wide world apart. Our home sweet home stands alone, a cartoon work of art.
The scripts were rejected, expect the unexpected.
On Tiny Toon Adventures, it's about to start.
They're furry, they're funny.
They're Buzz and Buster Bunny. Montana Max has money. Elmira is a pain. He's hunting
and Plucky.
Dizzy Devil Yucky. Furballs are nookie. And Go-Go is insane. At Acme University, we earn our Toon degree. The teaching staff been getting laughs since 1933. We're tiny, we're toony, we're all a little loony. It's Tiny Toon Adventures, come and join the fun. And now our song is done. Welcome to another half hour of fun and laughs with Buster
and Babs Bunny. No relation.
That's my line, you bogus bunny! Eh? Plucky, what's the big idea?
The big idea is today's script. I'm not even in this episode. It's an outrage, I tell ya. Heads will roll. My lawyer will hear of this. Well,
freeze it. Thanks. Say, kids, have you ever wondered what makes a selfish bird like Plucky tick?
Why, no, I can't say it's ever crossed my...
Just say yes, Babs.
Oh, yes.
It's a riddle that has baffled the greatest minds of our time, including the renowned kid genius, Calamity Coyote. Now, thanks to his Acme brain scanometer, we can enter the head of Plucky Duck and watch his thinking in action.
Such as it is.
Okay, Calamity. Miniaturize us.
the most highly developed nerve impulse in Plucky's body, his greed center. Continuing our trip through Plucky's brain, we come to his imagination.
This is where all his dreams and fantasies are stored.
We're in luck. Plucky's having one of his embarrassingly egotistical dreams of glory. Monitoring his dream patterns will yield incredible scientific data.
Or a couple of cheap laughs.
Good enough. Years ago, I, millionaire Spruce Vane, swore to spend my life fighting crime, to wipe out the weed of evil that was choking the light from Acme Acres, to rip out the foul, festering, fetid tumor of filth that was... You mind? I just ate. Sorry.
My guest, Joe Alasky, as Plucky Duck in the Tiny Toons Adventures. In that 1999 Animation World magazine article, Joe explained that reviving the classic Warner Brothers voices is tremendous fun, but it isn't easy. The responsibility of doing all those voices for Marvin the Martian in the Third Dimension was a white-knuckler, he said. The sessions were ongoing for over a year, but worth it. But doing a more or less original voice, such as Stinky on Casper, is no less intense an experience.
Differences between, and you were talking about Plucky Duck and Daffy, but now Sylvester is something that's so close to Daffy, and yet I think originally Mel's voice was sped up. Now you don't do that, right? I had a conversation similar to this with Bob Bergen on the previous show, and he suggested that, he's talking about the difference in the speed or whatever, which you're doing vocally. I can do that as well. And I think most people that do voices can change, can go up in their range and down in their range. And for whatever reason, they chose to speed up Mel. That's I think wasn't even his choice. I think Leon Schlesinger thought it was funny or something, But I'm interested in the characters. When you approach a character, even if the voice is similar, say Plucky Duck, but he's not Daffy, and Daffy's not Sylvester. So even though the voices may be similar and you're changing them slightly, how do you approach the personality?
Great question. Well, first of all, whenever I approach these classic characters, the Looney Tunes, my first approach in even trying to do this was to get Mel Blanc down first. Not just to try to sound like him as he did in everyday life, which was as if he was this little guy from Brooklyn, which he wasn't. He was from Seattle. But then also to think like him and just try to be as great an actor. Boy, that was hard. So luckily I had a lot of training and blah, blah, blah. So thinking like the characters, I was trying to imitate Mel's thinking of those characters and how he approached them. Noel, his son, famously says that when he did Sylvester, he was just being himself. That this was the way Mel Blanc really felt and sounded and worked in real life. Hard to believe, but that's what Noel maintained. And so, of course, when Daffy's character was developed, I think even a little bit earlier, they took that lisping thing that Mel did and sped it up. Just to make him more lively, and to, of course, differentiate him from the other character that lisped, Sylvester. With Porky Pig, interestingly enough, there's an actor, Bob Bergen, who does him at speed, as we call it, because he can sound just like Porky after he was sped up, as some of those other characters were, like Speedy and Speedy Gonzales and Tweety Bird, and of course Porky. When Mel did Porky, for instance, as Sad Sack during World War II shows,
he would do Sad Sack sounding like like this.
And then you speed that up and it becomes Porky Pig. But that's not the way Mel did it. And it is the way I do it, but it's not the way that Bob Bergen does it. And Warner's uses Bob as Porky because it's simpler to record. him at speed, as I said. Plus, Bob's such a terrific actor. He's got that character down.
In a 2012 interview with James Green Jr., Green asked Joe Alasky which Looney Tune was the most difficult to master. The answer? Oh, Bugs Bunny was the hardest voice to learn by far. It took me 2 years, said Alasky. What made it so tough was Mel Blanc was such a good actor. He made such an impression with his delivery. There was also the matter of the accents, the Brooklyn and the Bronx mixed together. It's very tricky, but I eventually got it down. The words of Joe Alasky.
Well, howdy, kids. You're listening to Joe Bev and the Voice Actor Show with guest stars like Joe Alasky doing Gabby Hayes. So keep listening to Joe Bev, that rootin' tootin' six-gun shootin' ring-tailed buckaroo.
Well, wait a minute now. Fair is fair. If I can do Woody Allen as Captain Kirk, how about Captain Kirk as Woody Allen? Shall I give it a try? All right, then. Here he is, everybody's favorite cop with curly hair. Here's William Shatner with the monologue from the end of the movie Annie Hall. Well, after that, it got pretty late and we both had to go. But it was great seeing Annie again, and I realized what a terrific person she was. How much fun it was. Just knowing her, and I thought of that old joke. You know, this guy goes to a psychiatrist and says, Bone, my brother's crazy. He thinks he's a chicken. And the doctor says, well, why don't you turn him in? The fellow says, well, I would, but we need the eggs. Okay, thank you. Wonderful actor, William Shatner. Thank you. Of course, I only impersonate people I really like, and Bill is one of them.
More comedy from Joe Alasky, my guest on the Voice Actor Show.
I'd be interested in some of the things that the audience may not know you've done that you're proud of.
Another great question, Joe. Okay, what I'm doing now, everybody, is for a great change of pace. I'm not imitating anybody in a new series called, for Discovery Channel, Murder Comes to Town.
And at first they were looking for sort of a Vincent Price sort of a narrator, very spooky. And so I started with that, yes.
And then they said, okay, not quite so Vincent Price, all right? Use your own voice and try to get that ominous feel. So I've been narrating a show about small-town murders for Discovery Channel coming out in 2014 in my own voice. Probably the first series job, certainly, I've ever gotten without having to imitate anybody else. Oh, I'm definitely proud of this one. Back in 1986, Jackie Gleason was about to release the lost episodes of The Honeymooners right around that time. And before he could, some of the soundtracks had to be repaired with voice-alikes, like me. So I got hired out of many entrants to be the voice of Ralph Cramden for the soundtracks of the actual episodes of The Honeymooners. I couldn't believe my luck. And I got hired to cover, I think, 2 or 3 shows, a couple of lines on one. But the one you really hear me on is an episode called The Lawsuit, where Ralph has a speech. He's on crutches in that one, trying to sue the bus company again. And he has a speech at the end that I had to cover mostly myself. And I'm really proud to be in the classic episodes of The Honeymooners, thanks to him. Peripherally, I'll also add that later I got to work with Art Carney himself. Again, sound alike for Ralph Cramden in a commercial for, I think it was Braun Shavers. And Art, of course, played Ed Norton once again, and this time alongside me. Can you imagine that thrill?
Been talking about bad casting all night. Here's some of the best casting of all time. It's a show that I'm sure that if you don't recognize it from the 1950s, you will recognize it from the 1980s. They called it The Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason and Art Carney. Hey, Ralph B. Boy, what do you say there, Ralph?
Hey, Ralphie boy.
You ready to win that championship for the Hurricanes tonight, eh? Norton! We are not going bowling tonight. Oh, what are you talking about, Ralph? Geez, don't you remember last night there? I brought down my bowling ball there at 3 o'clock in the morning. We stuck him in a closet so else wouldn't find him. You said it was a perfect hiding place. You said she wouldn't find him in a million years. You said she was Norton. We are not going bowling tonight. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you. Good night.
Well, Joe, this has really been a fantastic half hour. Flew by faster than any of these shows have so far. And I think maybe the audience would like to hear you just sort of say goodbye in as many characters as you can throw out there at one time.
I don't see how I could refuse such a request. Let's see, I started off as Bugs, and then we had a little Daffy Duck a little later on, and some Porky Pig.
But I know a lot of viewers out there, a lot of listeners, just love Tweety Bird. So, I better get going. Here comes that bad old putty tat. So long, everybody. And, that's all, folks.
Oh, and I almost forgot about my Rugrats fans. This is Grandpa Lou Pickles saying 15 years ago I started rice sprouts.
Well, thank you, Joe Alasky, for being on the Voice Actor Show. This has been a wonderful time, and maybe we'll get to do this again sometime.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. I love talking about myself and the industry. And, of course, it's an honor and a privilege, and I say that last because I mean it, okay? So have me back sometime, okay?
All right, pal. I love you.
All right, bye, everybody.
Thank you.
This is Joe Bevilacqua. This has been the Voice Actor Show. If you'd like to write to me, email me at info@waterlog.com. And be sure to check out all the great books at BearManorMedia.com. And if you can't get enough Joe Bev, just go to waterlog.com. That's Waterlog with 2 G's.com.
Waterlog Productions.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, this is Himalaya Hinchcliffe, explorer extraordinaire. Gather round, don't crowd. We've got a stupendous lineup. Next on the Waterlog Radio Network, it's A Tale of Two Homes on Laurie's Book Nook with Laurie Kellogg and guest Jill C. Nelson, the author of John Holmes' biography. Then it's The Mystery of the Vanishing White Elephant, the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. Get it while it's hot. All great books and audio at Waterlog with 2 G's.com and BearManor This is Himalaya Hinchcliffe. On with the show.
And now a Bear Manor Radio blast from the past.
Zookie, come here, will you?
Well, I can't. I'm too busy. Here I am.
What time is it, Zookie?
Well, according to me and my clock, it's I can't tell you.
Why can't you tell me?
Well, because by the time I tell you what time it is, it's some other time.
Come on, Zookie. Here come Mel and Betty. Let's get out of here.
Look, darling, don't you see, the fix-a-chop will never amount to a thing as long as you let your Uncle Rupert and Zookie live with you.
Well, gosh, honey, I have to let them stay here.
Well, why can't that uncle of yours go to work?
Well, he's still weak from his overseas shots.
Overseas shots?
Yeah, he got him in 1917. He spent 6 months in Pierre's Bar and Grill in Paris, 20 shots a night.
That I can almost believe.
Oh, that's right. The last time he saw Paris, he didn't see it so good.
Oh, Mel, why don't you try to be serious about business?
Well, I try.
And another thing, do you realize that we have been engaged now for 5 years?
Gosh, our wooden anniversary.
Don't you think we might begin toying with the idea of getting married?
Oh, now, honey, you know I've been working on our nest egg.
Well, we're both getting old, the egg and I.
Well, yeah, but...
Mel Blanc, now this is what I'm talking about. Now look at this birthday card my father got from the Eternal Life Insurance Company this morning. Now, why don't you do something like that? Why don't you try to build goodwill?
Okay. I'll send a birthday card to everybody in town who has a birthday this month.
Oh, Mel, that's wonderful.
And another thing, I'm going to talk to Uncle Rupert and put him straight.
Oh, darling, it's so good to hear you talk like this.
I'll tell Uncle. He'll just have to buckle down and loaf somewhere else. I'm sorry, Uncle Rupert, but that's the way it's got to be.
Melvin, my boy, I'm hurt. Haven't Zookie and I been everything to you?
Well, not exactly.
I haven't been everything to you?
No. That's why I want to get married. You can't even cook.
Well, anyway, my lad, let's not be hasty. I've got another idea. Why don't I go on living here and work for you?
Oh, but Uncle Rupert, I can't afford to pay you anything.
Oh, that's all right, nephew. After a while, you'll owe me so much money, I'll own the fix-it-shop.
Well, yeah,
then you can go to work for me until you earn enough money to get it back.
Say, both of us can make a darn good living like that for years. Now, wait.
Doesn't hit you, eh?
No. Uncle Rupert, you're not talking me out of this.
I see what you mean. Well, Melvin, if this means the parting of the ways, I shall simply have to ask Widow Longnecker to marry me.
Oh, but you said yourself marriage is a serious thing. Are you sure Mrs. Longnecker's your type?
Why, of course Clara's my type. She's rich, isn't she?
Yeah, but you should marry for love.
Well, I love money.
But she's so long and lanky.
Melvin, my lad, when a lady is that wealthy, she's not long and lanky. She's tall and stately.
Well, have it your way. Now, will you send Zookie for those birthday cards?
Indeed I will. Oh, Zookie, will you come here, please?
Well, I can't. I'm too busy. Here I am.
Nell wants you to go down to City Hall and get a list of people's birthdays.
Oh, people's yeah.
Then stop off on your way back and pick up some birthday cards in the 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Have you got that straight now?
Yeah. Hey, I'm looking for the
Young man! Huh? This is the Bureau of Vital Statistics.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. We have records on everybody from the cradle to the grave. Records on men, records on women. Also Spike Jones playing the gypsy. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm looking for the birthday, you know, rockabye, Hey, I bet you was a beautiful baby.
Oh, yes, indeed I was. Why, my mother used to... Oh, so that's it. You're expecting a baby.
Oh, how could I have a baby? I'm not even married.
Well, you should have thought of that before. Marriage licenses are down the hall.
Hey, but I'm a confirmed bachelor. I don't believe in the I'm footloose and fancy. Nobody wants me.
Now make up your mind what you want. Our files are complete from the cradle to the grave. We have the cross index to ZY, countercross to AAL, and crisscross to YYZ, ending with a fiscal year MCM XLV. Now what do you have?
Let me hear Spike Jones playing the gypsy.
I give up. Look, here's a list of everything we've got. You can take your pick.
Oh, thanks. Gosh. This printing is sure close to the paper.
Is that you, Zuki? It's about time you... Oh, it's you, Mrs. Longnecker. How are you today?
Oh, me. Another day, another dividend. Oh, the woes of wealth.
Well, what's the matter, Mrs. Longnecker?
Oh, it's so annoying. I was at the bank all day today.
You were?
Yes, the bank wants to borrow some money from me. But I'm not going to give it to them.
Why not?
They haven't paid the last loan I made them. If they don't pay me back soon, I'll just have to foreclose. I get more darn banks that way. Oh, money, money, money. Think of it, Melvin. I'm just swimming in wealth.
What a beautiful way to drown. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Longnecker.
Yes?
Were you born this month?
Was I what?
Were you born this month?
Oh, of course. I'm just out doing a little shopping for my mother who's still in the hospital.
Well, you see, I'm sending birthday cards from the Fix-It shop to everybody in town who has a birthday this month.
Well, what on earth for?
Oh, it's a great business idea. Make a lot of money so Betty will be proud of me.
Money. Doesn't that fiancé of yours realize the terrible things money can do to a human being? Why, just look at me.
Yeah, maybe I ought to warn her. Do you think that
my dear Clara, this is indeed a pleasure.
Well, I didn't come here to give you pleasure. What do you want, Rupert?
I wish I could tell you how radiant you are, my dear. How like a tall, stately sapling... sapling in the breeze. Yes, I wish I could tell you, but I don't have the words.
Well, considering you did it without words, it was okay.
Please, Rupert, I'm in no mood for your nincompoopity.
Nincompoopity?
Oh, Melvin, I've quite forgotten what I came in for. I'm giving a reception tonight at the mansion, and I want you to come up and fix a loose floorboard on the front porch.
A loose floorboard?
Yes, every time somebody walks into the house, the board comes up and slaps them in the face.
Gee, that's embarrassing.
It's even more embarrassing when they walk out.
Goodbye, Mrs. Longnecker. Well, Betty, all the birthday cards are mailed out.
Oh, Mel, I can't wait to see what happens.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if someday I have to use a velvet rope to handle the crowds in front of the Fix-It shop.
Yes, honey.
Why, the Fix-It shop will become a household word. You know, like Drano.
Yes, darling. Can I see one of the cards?
Oh, sure. Here.
Oh, they're pretty. Let's see, it says, best wishes on this most joyous of all occasions, your very own natal day.
Yeah, natal day. That means birthday. I looked it up.
Now, wait a minute. What's this?
What's what?
Behind this little flap on the card. Look what it says.
Oh, I didn't notice any flap.
It says, I hope the gift I'm sending you under separate cover will brighten this most joyous of all occasions, your very own natal day.
That means birthday.
Oh, Mel, what did you do?
I looked it up.
Don't you realize what this means?
Oh, yeah. Means I've got to get 98 birthday presents for all the people I sent cards to. Oh, if I don't, they'll never come near the Fix-It shop.
And you were going to keep the crowds back, with a velvet rope, no less.
Well, I can still find use for the velvet rope.
For what, for instance?
Well, not everybody can afford to hang himself with a velvet rope.
Use Colgate tooth powder, keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it streets night.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
How often it happens, you meet a man and you think he's a nice fellow, but what? Well, you hate to say it, but it's that little breath of trouble. I mean, unpleasing breath. And the chances are this chap doesn't dream that a breath of trouble is tagging him, making him unpopular, hindering him in business, spoiling his fun. Without suspecting it, you may be the victim of unpleasing breath. So be on your guard against it. Just do this. Brush your teeth night and morning and before every date with Colgate tooth powder. For Colgate tooth powder cleans your breath as it cleans your teeth. Yes, scientific tests have definitely proved that in 7 cases out of 10, Colgate tooth powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. What's more, no dentifrice at any price cleans your teeth more quickly and thoroughly than Colgate tooth powder. Remember to buy it first thing. And remember the name Colgate tooth powder with the accent on powder.
Don't take a chance with your romance.
Use Colgate tooth powder.
Looky, come here, please.
Yeah, okay. Don't take a chance with your every romance.
Oh, Mel, I wish I could think of some way to help you.
Gosh, Betty, what am I going to do for presents for those people? I've thought of everything.
Well, it's no use worrying about it now. I guess something like this could happen to anybody.
Yeah, but it always happens to me.
Oh, Mel.
Betty, you know you're the only girl in the world for me, don't you?
Am I?
You're the only girl who'll have me. And you're so pretty, too. You know, every morning I think of you while I'm shaving.
I'm glad.
Sure. I look in the mirror and I say to myself, gosh, you're beautiful.
Oh, Mel.
Oh, well, you know what I mean. You're so sweet and I'm such a worthless, brainless, shiftless, stupid... Gee, aren't you going to interrupt me?
Oh, don't worry, darling. Everything will be all right. The world always has an opening for someone like you. You just have to find it.
What do you mean, find an opening? Look at the hole I'm in now.
Melvin, my lad, your troubles are over.
What do you mean, Uncle Rupert?
In this big package, you see 100 beautiful boxes of candy. They'll make 100 most appropriate birthday presents for the people you sent the birthday cards to.
Hey, that's swell, but where did you get them?
It so happens I ran across a dear old friend today, one Harry Greenspiegel, who now owns the Ace Novelty Company.
Yeah?
Ah, good old Greenspiegel. Used to be a fellow vendor in a barbecue house in Hoboken.
Uncle Rupert, I never knew you sold things in the burlesque house.
Huh? Oh, purely educational. Photographic knowledge for gentlemen who never went to college. Postcards, to be exact.
Postcards?
Oui, oui. Ooh la la.
Uncle Rupert.
Oh, inspirational views of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh.
Well, let's get these boxes in the mail.
Say, I'll be doing better than the life insurance company. They only sent out birthday cards to customers.
The cheapskates.
Yeah. I'll be sending bonbons by Greenspiegel. De Paris. I guess this'll show people in this town this isn't a melon I have for a head.
That's right, Melvin. You've got brains in that melon.
Uncle Rupert, it was nice of you to get that candy for Mel.
You know me, Betty. Unselfish to a fault.
Yes. Well, anyway, I don't understand it. We mailed that candy out 2 days ago, and we haven't received one thank you note. Not even a phone call. Oh, look, here comes Mrs. Longnecker.
Ah, maybe this is my chance to win her hand. The one that signs the checks. I have just one box of candy left. I'll try it on her and see how she likes it.
Well, good luck to you. I'll leave you two alone.
Ah, Clara, my dear.
Hello, Rupert.
So glad you dropped in.
Now, Rupert, I'm in no mood for your nincompoopity.
But, Clara, I have a beautiful gift for you.
A gift for me? Oh, how nice, Rupert.
Yes, a box of French bonbons, direct from Paris. Made by my very good friend, Monsieur Greenspiegel.
Oh, Oh, you shouldn't have done it.
Oh, it's quite all right. A gift for the fairest of the fair. They come to you untouched by human hands. Greenspiegle wrapped them himself.
Well, I must open them immediately and try one.
Try one of the peanut clusters.
Oh, but these are not peanut clusters. These are ordinary peanuts.
If I'd known you were coming, my dear, I'd have clustered them myself.
Yes. Well, no, I think I'll try one of these caramels.
Mmm! Delicious, aren't they, my dear? Stop jumping up and down, Clara. What the devil's the matter with her?
Hey, Uncle Rupert, what happened to Mrs. Longnecker?
Maybe she hasn't learned how to use her new upper plate.
Learn? What does she do, take lessons? Hey, what happened anyway?
Hold on. What's this inside the candy box?
What? Oh. Ace Novelty Company's #1 Joker. Be the life of the party. Treat your friends to Sure Pucker alum candy.
Oh, no!
Oh, 50 mirthquakes to a box. Laugh yourself to death.
There's been some mistake, nephew.
Oh, some mistake is right. I can just see 98 people chasing me down the street, all of them yelling, "Kill Mel Blanc! Kill Mel Blanc!"
Mel, take it easy, take it easy. What are you doing?
Can't you see? I'm laughing myself to death. Laughing! Gosh, I feel awful. Gosh, if only one of those people we sent the candy to would say something. If they'd only do something, why don't they?
It takes a little time.
A lawyer. Gee, I bet they could send me to the state penitentiary for doing this to people.
They can't send you to a state penitentiary, Melvin.
Of course they can.
Using the mails to defraud is a federal offense.
State penitentiary and federal prison. You know what I'll have pinned on me? A two-way stretch.
Nell, now don't be silly.
Hey, the mailman is coming. Oh, he's got loads of mail. Hey, you better leave by the back door, Mel.
Yes, nephew, run for the hills.
No, Uncle Rupert. I'm going to face the music.
Well. Quite a bit of mail for you today, Mr. Blank.
Wait. All those boxes. It's the candy we sent out.
And those are all the birthday cards.
Here, let me see. Hey, they all read the same way. Listen. Return to sender. Addressee deceased.
That means dead. I looked it up.
Huh?
Say, Mel, I think I know what happened.
Well, I wish you'd tell me.
Don't you see? Zuki got the wrong list down at City Hall. Instead of birthdays, he got the names of people who passed away.
Oh. Then I'm safe. Nothing happened.
That's right, and you can thank Zuki for that.
Gosh, yeah. Gee, you saved my life, Zuki. I could kiss you.
Hey, you can't kiss me. Don't you dare to. Don't you. He did.
You have just heard a BearManor Radio blast from the past. Check out all the great books and audio at BearManorMedia.com.
And there you have it, gentles and lady peoples. The 5th ever voice actor show with Joe Bev and his guest, Giuseppe Alasky. And a phantasmagorical blast from the past. The Mel Blanc Show #1. Birthday cards from September 3rd, 1946. I is Professor Ludwig van whatchamacallit, and you and I is listening to the BearManor Radio Network via my free smartphone app, which you can get at waterlogfor2gs.com. And make certain you check out all the stupendous books and audio at BearManorMedia.com. Next on the BearManor Radio Network, it's A Tale of Two Homes on Lori's Book Nook with Lori Kellogg and guest Jill C. Nelson, the co-author of the biography of John Holmes. And A Blast from the Past, The New Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, The Mystery of the Vanishing White Elephant with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce from 1945. Was that a white elephant that just came and vanished before my eyes? Oh, I need Sherlock Holmes.